The Frontline starts now.
And we welcome you to another episode of the Frontline podcast. And I'm pleased to be joined by a returner for this year, Captain Jackson Smith on the far end. Jackson, welcome back.
Thank you.
And in between us is Austin Seibel. Sorry, I had to take a little shot while I could because, you know, I hear it often enough. But welcome to the Frontline podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I'm pretty excited to get this going. So I'm just going to get off to the hop here because I have pretty good intel on this, and I've been waiting for this episode for a while to do this. But I hear you're a movie star.
I was in a Hallmark movie once, yeah.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's called Checking It Twice is what I was told. Okay. Yeah. That's the only homework I've done going into this, just so you know. Can you explain what it's like to be a Hollywood superstar?
I don't know. I feel it's normal, I guess. It was a pretty cool opportunity, that's for sure. But yeah, I didn't really have any words or anything, but I was in a couple scenes as the goalie in that. So
what do they make you do as like a goalie, like in scenes? Like, do they just be like, hey, you got to let this one in or something?
Yeah, well, a lot of the people that are like a part of it, they're not. Like, the actors aren't actually hockey players, so a lot of them don't know how to skate or shoot the puck or anything like that. So no matter how hard I'm trying not to make the save, I'm making the saves. So got to the point where they were getting upset with me with doing that. But I don't know. We probably took a couple scenes on this one where it was like a breakaway shot, and it's just like I wasn't trying to make the save, but they can't shoot it, so it just kept hitting me, and so they were getting upset with me, and eventually they scored one. But
I'm going to have to check this movie out because I just want to see the movie magic where they make them look really good.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I've always, like, because I'm a big fan of, like, Shoresy, so I've always wondered, like, do they just go in there and tell I mean, those guys can play hockey, though. I guess that's the difference.
Yeah.
So I've always been like, do they just tell the goalies, okay, we need you to, like, let in, like, a bad one or something? So, Jackson, what's it like being captain of a team with a Hollywood superstar on it?
It's amazing. You know, he hasn't let the ego go to his head too much yet. Once he gets some words, maybe he will. But that hasn't happened quite yet, so it's been good.
So is it safe to say if the hockey thing doesn't work out, Hollywood's like calling?
It's definitely an option.
How do you get a role in a movie like that? Like, I'm so out to left field when it comes to like that stuff. I don't know anything.
Yeah, basically they were filming at our like hometown rink, and I trained there in the summer on ice and in the gym, and up top in that rink, there's like our private gym that we have for it's mainly like hockey players and sports people. And basically they knew it was a hockey movie. So they just said, like, do you have any people that can kind of fill spots? And so she immediately asked me. And first I think I had plans to leave, and I was like, I'm not going to do it. Like, whatever. I'm not really bothered by it. But then eventually it worked out, and I'm like, yeah, I might as well. Like, cool experience. And then, so that's kind of how it is. It wasn't like I applied or anything like that. They kind of just were looking for somebody, and I was just in the right spot for it.
Fit the bill.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they needed a goalie.
Yep.
Who was apparently going to let him who was tough to work with, apparently.
Yeah.
Switching gears, though, back to actual hockey. Jackson, since you were on last, you've made a commitment on where you're going to be playing next year. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm going down to Sudden, New Hampshire. It's about an hour outside of Boston. Really excited to get things going there next season.
So what kind of leads you to decide where you're going to play next year? Like, I mean, obviously there's probably going to be some options, but to narrow it down to where you're going.
I think like their assistant coach, Matt Osgood, he contacted me all the way back in October, and they've kind of been the first team that talked to me, and they were pretty like consistent where I'd talk to him once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, but just felt like the best fit and really excited.
For you yourself, I mean, obviously at every level for both of you guys, like there's always going to be eyes watching you as the further you go with your hockey career. But you, Jacko, with this being kind of like your overage season, did you feel any added pressure on that, being like, this is my last kick at the can at Junior A to make people see me kind of thing?
I think a little bit. Just like you put more pressure on yourself than anything. Like it's no one else, but it's your own mind games where you're thinking, like, you're up late at night thinking about, okay, well, I need to do this, this, and this. And you realize quickly that just doesn't work at all. So the best thing is just either get it over with or kind of free it from your mind, just because it's not going to help you thinking about it all that much.
So you kind of answered my next question a little bit, but I'll ask it anyways. When you get to a level like this, especially as the captain of a team, how do you juggle, personal success of trying to further your career with team success?
I think team success drives personal success. Like, you look at any team that wins, whether that's major, junior, or junior A, like any level, like the players that win are always going to get more chances, and that's kind of my thought process going into it.
Austin, you yourself, you didn't break camp with the team obviously, but you still came fairly early in the season. We kind of talked about it before we started recording, but how did your winding road lead you to Powassan?
Just basically started where I was with the Dauphin Kings in Manitoba, and was supposed to be the starter and play there. Just things didn't work out as the hockey world works, and eventually was looking for a team because my 20-year-old came back, and it just kind of shifted me out of play, and that's all right. But was looking at some options. Met an advisor. He said he knew Pete. Pete was a great coach, and he's like, I'm gonna text him, see maybe if he's interested, and just playing through my cards, it just felt like this was the right spot for me to come here and play, and big nice town, North Bay, right by it, and otherwise, yeah, that's kind of how I found it.
You've kind of moved your way further and further from home, though. Have you noticed that as you've gone here? BC to Manitoba, now Ontario. What's it like playing so far away from the family?
You get used to it. Like I before junior, I also played in Saskatchewan for 2 years, so I've kind of lived in the majority of the provinces along the West Coast and that, and so you kind of get used to not being around family. And I like to say, like, this past Christmas, it was like I have two different lives. Like, I'll go home, have all my friends there, then I'll come back here, and it's like a whole different contacts list. Like, I'm just have so many other people to talk to and see, and I don't know. I find it cool. Like, I miss my family, of course, but I also feel like I'm happy to be here. I'm independent and enjoying my time away.
Whenever I get, like, last year with the Americans, they were a bit of a fraternity. It seems like they are a little bit again this year. Are you guys both, being Western boys, kind of part of like a fraternity on the team, or is it you guys kind of against everyone else?
Yeah.
Where's the division line, right? Because you're from Alberta, you're from BC. Where's the division line to be like, no, that's not West enough?
Well,
probably Manitoba.
Yeah.
I would say
Manitoba's West.
Yeah.
Anything in the Western League.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Anything in the Western.
And Ontario's so big, it's
ridiculous.
It takes forever to get across Ontario. It's basically all the other provinces together.
So when you came here the first time, did you have to drive, or did you at least get to fly?
I drove.
Yeah. Okay. So it was a bit of a trek for you.
Yeah.
But so what is it kind of like, coming all this way, and now you get a guy from Calgary on your roster kind of thing?
I saw his name when I first searched up the team, so I thought that would be kind of cool, someone I could relate to, and I don't know, yeah, it's good, especially since now that we're living together and that we can relate and get the same flights home, and it just works out perfectly. But
and for you, Jackson, what's it like when you hear a guy from the West is coming over too?
It's nice. I was here all by myself last year, being the only Western guy. I don't know. It was different. Just with all the Ontario guys, I've never really up until here. I never played with anyone from out east, so it was cool. But it's nice to get a little Western blood back out here.
What would you say? Is there a different flavor of hockey between the West Coast and over here, or would you say it's pretty much the same game? Go ahead, make yourself look like a fool. I'm here for it.
It's different. It's similar, but it's definitely a little bit different in the AJ, where I find it's a little bit bigger and a little bit tougher, but
depends where you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You go to the BC, it's
way more skilled.
Yeah, more skilled. Then you go to Saskatchewan, it's like a heavy hitting league.
Really?
Yeah.
So where would you say is the Noj kind of like a blend of both, or
Yeah.
Because I always hear about how tough the Noj is compared to the OJ or something. The Noj is a much harder hitting league compared to the OJ. So I guess that kind of goes the same way with everything.
Yeah.
It's also kind of neat that your general manager is also from Alberta too. So it all kind of worked out that way.
Uh-huh.
But
maybe that's why you wanted us.
maybe
Exactly.
Maybe that's why it worked out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Can't really give him too much of a big ego though, so we'll stay away from that. Austin, on the personal side, you're named one of the stars of the week this week in the NOJHL. From one start, which was absolutely sensational, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
What was that kind of like to get some recognition league-wide? You've had it a couple of times now, but now to get it again.
Oh, it was good. I think, especially with how the team's been going the past couple months, and even my play the past couple months, it was good to kind of get recognized, and I knew we all kind of had to take a step back, especially with that 7-game slide, but we all came together, and I felt confident. I'm feeling good going into the next couple games, so it was good to be recognized for that. So.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you, I don't want to make this all doom and gloom, but obviously a 7-game losing skid is a little tough to stomach. Jacko as the captain, how do you kind of keep the vibes good during that time, or what's your kind of approach to that?
Well, I don't want to say I've been through it before, but we had my first year in Camrose, we had a long stretch. I think it was 13 games.
Oh my.
Yeah, it wasn't great. And I don't know, you gotta have fun at the rink, and that's the biggest thing. You gotta do your job while you're at the rink, and make it fun for yourself. Even when things aren't going well, you gotta just find the positives every single day, and bring that into the weekend and get some wins.
And for you, Austin, especially being a goaltender, how do you kind of keep it light and airy as that losing skid kind of goes on?
Yeah, I think biggest thing for me is being consistent, trying to, whether it's habits at practice, or me and Jackson are always the first people to show up to practice because we both have, getting prepared for, we have our injuries or whatever it is we want to keep on top of so we don't get injured or whatever it is. But I feel like the more you stay in a consistent path of that, the more you're going to see good things happen. So when we're down, it's just always, showing up to work, just being positive, having fun, not letting it be you're going to work and hating work. You gotta enjoy what you're doing, even if you're in the highs or the lows. So
kind of springboarding off that, I always like having goalies on the podcast because I always try to ask this question. But your position is so drastically different than as a defenseman or a forward, where in the sense that your quote unquote mistakes, even though there's a series of mistakes that might lead to your mistake, ends up on the board. How do you are you kind of like whatever, don't let it get to you, or are you kind of the type of guy that even in practice is like, no pucks are getting by me?
I like to have. I work with a guy named Pete Fry. I have with the past couple of years, but he's a mental coach for goalies. And the thing I've kind of learned the most is you got to have a mindset of a goldfish. Like a goldfish forgets instantly. So once a goal goes in, it's you can't sit there and critique it while you're playing. You got to just completely forget about it and keep going. You go down 1-0, the game's not over. All you need is one more shot from your team. So why give up or whatever it is. And yeah.
Well, evident by Sunday's game, right? You guys went down 1-0 early and then come back with 4 straight.
Yep.
Jackson, you've lived with a couple of goalies now.
Yep.
Are they weird as everyone says they are, or are they?
Yep.
Can you explain what makes them different breeds?
I don't want to expose this guy. They're just very dialed in. Is probably the best way to say it. I don't know. I walked into the room the other day. I don't know if you want this out there, but you had a towel over your head, just visualizing what was happening. Never seen that before. But hey, whatever gets him in the right mode to help us win.
Actually, can I say something?
Yeah.
He had a towel over his head the other day too, so during the game.
Yeah.
Not visualizing what he did.
Not just towel over the head. I was angry.
I
was angry.
It's going both ways.
I was going to say, are you picking up any kind of help, I guess, but then he just kind of sewered you and said, stop.
Hey, I got my own routines too that are stupid, so.
That's fair.
I had headphones in. It was a focus thing.
So what kind of music's playing in your headphones when you're trying to focus?
Actually, that one wasn't music. It was same with my Pete Fry guy. It's like a voice recording. It's just kind of visualizing the game and confidence and that. So I kind of just listened to that before.
So is that in between period or before?
Just before.
So what, as a goalie yourself, can you acknowledge that you guys are weird, or are you kind of no, we're normal guys?
You guys are weird.
I'd say we're weird, but I like to think I'm not that weird. Yeah. And I know that's coming from a goalie, but I try my best not to be weird.
I know a lot of goalies now, and they're all a little quirky in their own ways. So
you guys get shot, you get pucks thrown at your head. You have to be weird.
Gotta enjoy it.
You guys are just weird.
Speaking of that, Chris keeps like threatening me to get into goalie gear and go up against Vitaly. Can you give me any kind of tips and tricks as if I get in net against Vitaly? And this is only coming from a guy who's only played hockey or goalie as a road hockey goalie.
Yep. Just, I don't know, keep your head and your body right on the stick of the puck.
Yeah.
That's all. I mean, if you get out and challenge, you won't score.
Fair enough.
You got to cover the angle.
This guy scored like 60 goals in the O.
Played 600 games in the show. I might have a chance on you.
You never know.
Wow, I really appreciate the truthfulness coming from that side of the room right now.
Yeah.
What would you do, Jackson? What kind of, do you have any tips and tricks for me other than, you don't really have a chance against some guys played in the show?
Like, just get in front of it. That's it.
Yeah. I was told by Tyson just to dive right at him.
Yeah.
It could work.
That's a good play.
Take
You
out
gotta
the
wait till
legs.
it's closer, though.
Yeah, take out the legs, basically. I don't know if I want to do that, though, because then everyone will be like, why'd you break Vitaly's leg? And I'll be, Tyson told me to.
Galaxy.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I guess he would know a little bit better than I would. You would know a little bit better than I would. So, like, my experience of goaltending, I wanted to be a goalie so bad growing up. Like, and my dad was like, no, they're lazy. They're the worst players on the ice. And I'm like, what? They're the only guys that sit out there. So I only got to play goalie as a Timbit when I was a kid. And then I maintained to this day I would have stuck with hockey a lot longer if I got to be goalie. So I always really enjoy goalies. And then the thing that's also neat about you guys is you guys are like so particular about your equipment. Yeah. Like, what's different? Like, Jackson, would you say you're very particular about your equipment? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What makes you particular about your equipment?
I don't like changing stuff.
No? So, like, have you had the same, like, shoulder pads for, like, years now, or?
I think I've had the same, like, shoulder pads, elbow pads, and shin pads since I was, like, 12.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you still fit in that?
You just find a way.
Just
find
Make a way.
What about you, Austin? How often would you say you change out your goalie equipment?
I mean, just like him, like change isn't ideal, so that doesn't feel the most comfortable. But kind of just like once it starts breaking down, like I'm fine getting new gear. It's exciting to me, especially when it's like pads or whatever it is. It's exciting, but it's not fun breaking it in, especially if it's different. But if it works, it works, and until it's broken, I won't get something new. So.
Yeah, and I feel like pads, especially if you're able to design them, because I remember when Joe Verbetic played here a couple years ago, and he told me he likened it almost to designing like tattoos.
Yep.
Like what you can do, especially with the color. Have you designed your own pad? Like, are the pads are they your own design?
Yeah. My pads and the pads that I had before that they're both custom, so I got to design them.
So what's the experience like? Can you take us through what that's kind of like?
Yeah, basically just go on your laptop or whatever it is, and for me it's CCM. So you go to the customizer and you just kind of you click all the buttons it highlights like different pieces on the pad, and you can change the color and change the fabric and whatever. And I've mainly gone with mostly white just in case, because you never know what happens in hockey. Well, this year, for example, I was expecting to play in Dolphins, so I got mostly white, but there's still that kind of dark blue there, but then it changes, so it's like you never know with hockey. But
well, from a distance they look black, so they fit.
Yeah, exactly.
It works out. So you might have just let everybody know they're not.
Yeah,
you've ruined it. The illusion's done. How obviously sticks are a little bit different, Jackson, in the fact that they break, and obviously you're probably not the same height. I would imagine that you were at 12.
Yeah.
How often do you, without saying breaking a stick, if you have a stick that doesn't break, how long before you change it out?
I use a stick until it breaks.
Really?
Yeah. I don't like. I'm not a fan of using new sticks.
No.
If I could use like the same gear every single day and like no, it's never going to change, that wouldn't bother me one bit.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're probably not the best person to ask this question for, but I will anyways. A couple of years ago, Dallin Wakely was telling me he plays with sticks, but then eventually the stick is dead, even if it's not broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely if it can get whipped out for sure.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. When I was younger, I used to like stiffer sticks, but since I've gotten older, it's quicker release with a stick with less flex. So. I'm fine using a stick until it breaks, but I get where he's coming from for sure.
Well, I feel like as a forward it'd be a little bit different too.
For
sure. Can you noticeably tell when a stick is quote unquote dead?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the difference?
Oh, it just feels like it's gonna break every time you shoot. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I've never actually broken a stick because I don't shoot hard enough. And all my sticks when I grew up playing were wood. So, what about you, Oz? I mean, goalie sticks are so much different in the sense that you're not actually shooting the puck. You might be passing the puck or trying to get, a stretch pass, but what about you? Is it like a stick until it breaks kind of situation too?
Yeah, especially in practice. Like if I have a stick that's like chipped at the bottom, I'll use that for practice until it breaks.
Is there a feeling of dead stick, live stick with that as well, or?
Not really, unless it's like cracked really.
Yeah.
And you can hear it. It
Yeah.
sounds kind of rattly or whatever. Otherwise, it's the sticks are just there to block pucks anyway. So other than passing, so
Yeah, fair enough. Jackson, sticking with the stick subject because a lot of players are particular about sticks. What goes into like the perfect stick for you?
Well, like my specs are 80 flex, and I use a P92. I don't know. I've been using that since probably 14, and haven't changed any of it. So
you just stuck with it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, are you the type of guy that has to like retape a stick every game, or?
I try to.
Yeah.
I'm bad though. Like, if it's like, if the tape isn't ripped, like I'm not touching
you're
it.
sticking with it.
I'm too lazy for that.
Well, I imagine the tape isn't as big a deal like as a goalie, but do you try to tape it every game or?
game, yes. Practice, no.
No. Yeah.
Game, I try to. Unless I'm backing up, then it's like if it's not ripped or something like that, then maybe I'll leave it. But otherwise, I try to tape it every time.
So a few years ago, when we used to have Adam Dennis on the show, he used to say that he tried and take any situation, because when he played, it was the early 2000s, so their pads were bigger. They had more going for them. So he said any advantage I could take, I would take it.
Yep.
What's kind of everything's been obviously scaled back considerably but for as a goalie, what are some of the tips and tricks that you have, like like black tape or as opposed to white tape or something like that? Like what are some of the things in your mind that you're like, this will mess up the shooter a little bit? I don't want you to give away all the secrets.
Giving too many secrets.
I don't know. I just like for my tape job. I don't think they really notice it at all. But like I'll do white tape, but then I'll do a black streak on top so I can see my blade. Because otherwise, it's like they mess with the ice.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think that really affects them at all unless they're up close going for a 5-hole breakaway. But I don't even think they think about that anyways.
No, there's probably a lot more going through their mind at that point.
Yeah, exactly. But I guess one thing that comes to mind, like I've never done it or anything, but it just reminds me of like Marc-Andre Fleury getting the yellow pads.
Yeah.
Like, cause it's like super vibrant and throws off the forwards. I personally have never tried anything like that, but it just, I've wondered if it worked.
I saw a thing probably about a year ago. It's like what happened to all the colorful pads in the league, because it used to be all colorful, and now I guess the idea is if you keep close to the 5-hole white, it's harder for them to see where your pad ends and everything, or. I don't know. This is just some guy on YouTube who thinks he's an expert, right? Like me on here. Jackson, do you prefer is it like white tape or black tape for you? Like white tape if the puck will blend in with the ice?
Tape.
Yeah.
Black tape.
It's just to get the puck blending in, or?
It's not even for that. It's really weird, but when I have white tape on my stick feels whippier.
What?
I don't know why, but it does.
I'm weird.
Yeah, I'm starting to think defensemen are weird.
Yeah.
That's how does tape affect the whip?
It doesn't at all, but...
It's just a mental thing.
Yeah, I switched to black when I was kind of going back and forth, and I had a whippier stick, and I just threw black tape on it, and it felt stiffer. So, since then, I've just been on the black tape train.
So you haven't ever gone back?
No. Well, today I did, actually. Yeah, I was just pushing pucks today.
I guess, yeah. So. Actually, I did see that.
Yeah.
I did.
Somebody was telling me, too, because last year when I was taping up my stick just to play, on the ODR or something, I put black tape on the knob, and everyone says it's like a cardinal sin.
Yeah, don't do that.
Why not?
Don't do that.
What's so bad about it? That's how it's always been for me.
No.
Well,
but I'm also not a junior A hockey player. I'm also a guy.
White tape or grip tape?
Why?
My only thought is, if you have a beige palm glove, you're getting it's all black.
That is.
Same with the goalie stick. It's I don't want to get my blocker all black.
Yeah, but it's not affecting anything.
No, but it's just wrong.
Yeah, it's wrong.
It's just wrong.
It feels illegal. And you could do all black and then put one strip of white across. I'd done that.
Even then, I think there should be max black tape should be one strip at the end.
Really?
That's it.
So it has to be white on top.
White on top. Yeah.
Okay.
With grip tape.
Yeah, because that's what my buddies are saying to me. But I'm like, you guys don't know anything. You don't play hockey. You guys play hockey, so. There we go. I guess I'm a serial killer. So while we're on the topic of tape, though, as a goalie, do you find that you need like a bigger knob for like poke checks and stuff, or do you kind of keep it like pretty regular?
I don't even have a knob, I don't think, really. Like, I tape down, and then I tape up, and then I tape down a little less, so it kind of like comes up as like a funnel. So like if I'm holding my stick, it still gets blocked because it gets thicker at the end, but I don't have like an actual knob to block it. So I don't know. It doesn't bother me.
No.
So.
What about you, Jackson? What kind of knob are you a little bit weird with your knob, or?
No, it's a longer knob, and then on the blade, just kind of halfway up.
Yeah.
Heel to toe, and that's about it.
Yeah, but white apparently.
White
on the knob.
with a black strip on the bottom. Got to seal the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind moving forward. The next time I need to retape my knob. This conversation's taking a drastic turn. Anyways, with that being said, so playoffs are on the horizon. You guys haven't punched your ticket yet, but with the win against the Sioux on Sunday, Iroquois Falls kind of following you guys way back in 9th, you've gotten a lot of space there. So I would imagine it's probably coming soon. Mm-hmm. What's the mentality? I mean, you haven't gotten the X yet, but what's the mentality, Jackson, heading into the playoffs?
I think the mentality now is like we have 5 games left, like the last 5 are playoff games. And we our goal is to win them all and go in, get a little streak going before playoffs, and then have a good round 1.
And for you, Austin, what's the mentality? Same thing?
Yeah, kind of same thing. Just build confidence over these games. Can't take them, lightly. Can't joke around. Got to really focus it in and be prepared. So,
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items, or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
Welcome to the Clubhouse by Gateway Golf. Located on Oak Street East in North Bay, with over 200 plus real-time courses, simulator arcade games, and delicious eats, the Clubhouse is North Bay's newest social hangout. You can book times now at gatewaygolf.ca or come visit at 245 Oak Street East in North Bay, Ontario. The Goalie Resiliency Podcast, hosted by Chris Dawson and Dr. Rob Graham. With player interviews new and old, goalie insights, and everything you need to know about being a netminder, this is the podcast to check out. You can subscribe at youtube.com/goalie-resiliency or instagram.com/goalie_resiliency.
The Frontline podcast is broadcasted from inside the 360 Goaltending Icebox in North Bay, Ontario. 360 Goaltending, redefining Canadian goalie culture.
Why is Northern Honda servicing more cars of all makes and models? Let's count the ways. 1. Our state-of-the-art facility has award-winning technicians. 2. Northern Honda has the lowest tire price guarantee, no matter what you drive. 3. The lowest synthetic oil change guarantee, and every 5th oil change is free for all makes and models. Plus, new Honda buyers get brake pads for life. See the service difference at Northern Honda, 1250 Seymour beside Home Depot.
Kids Sport North Bay is an organization that helps kids who otherwise couldn't get in the game with grants of up to $500. You can donate or find out more at www.kidsportcanada.ca.
So here's another question I've kind of never really thought to ask, and I don't know why, because I've been doing this a few years now. As fans of hockey and broadcasters, playoff hockey is just that next level. For players, is this the best time of year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's up to that top level, and there isn't a single player out there who doesn't want to win a championship this year. Mm-hmm. And to be able to do that, and obviously we came so close last year, it'd be really special.
What when you guys come back for like training and all that, training camp in the summer and stuff, does it almost feel like oh man, we got to go through it all over again just to get to that playoff spot again?
Like a little bit. Like obviously it sucks losing last year, but at the same time it kind of, in the opposite way, like it pushes you to where, okay, I just want to get back to that spot like now, where like we want to be the best, and you know, we weren't last year, but I think we can do it this year.
So I think kind of you're in a not necessarily similar situation, but a similar situation to last year, where I don't think many people, maybe in the Hearst series, people expected you guys to come out of that one, but maybe not against Timmins, and then everyone knows what Sudbury's all about. But you kind of going into this again, I think, without people really expecting you guys to make noise. Is that a good spot to be in, would you say?
Like, I think all that matters is, like, we know in that room that we can do it. And, you know, once that belief is down, like, that's all that matters. We don't really care what anyone else thinks.
Austin, you know, you and Tyson have formed a really good 1A, 1B situation this year. And come playoffs, I'm sure Pete's going to ride whoever the hot hand is. If say that's not you, how are you going to support Tyson the best that you can?
Well, I want to win as bad as he does, so I think one of the biggest things on the team is being a good teammate. So that's kind of just what I've been trying to do, especially when he's playing. Just, you know, when he comes in for water break, kind of just give him, you know, what I'm thinking, kind of pump him up. You know, if he hopefully doesn't get too riled up with, you know, if a goal against or whatever it is, just kind of trying to be there for him and yeah.
With you as a tandem, though, I mean, you guys are obviously a different section of the team in the sense that you guys are the only two goalies on the team. What's that kind of been like, getting to know him this year, and also, you know, kind of being the only two goalies on the team, best way I can say it, really?
I love it. I mean, it's kind of fun, you know, getting to know him. We both are kind of, like you said, we're kind of to the side together, and, you know, we stick together no matter what happens. And I don't know, I've just really enjoyed it being with him. He's someone that can, you know, bail me out if I can't be ready, or if he's not ready, I can bail him out. It's, like you said, it's good 1A, 1B, so it's been good so far this year.
I wanted to ask you, I had the fortune of going up to Kirkland Lake earlier in the year on the bus with you guys, and just kind of watching, you know, the team up close and stuff. I wanted to ask you about the batting gloves that you kind of wear underneath the blocker and trapper. What's that all about?
It started...
He shook his head, by the way, when I brought it up.
Started like 4 years ago. I used to have Vaughn gear, and nothing wrong with Vaughn. It just got beat up over the year, and, you know, my glove, you know, I'd take one shot, like I'd actually get a bruise, like it turned yellow and purple, and it's just like, at the time I like didn't really, well, I was young, so my dad decides when he gets gear or whatever, so I was like, okay, I'm going to try figure something else to figure it out. So I was like, I'm going to try baseball gloves, see if that works. And it helped a little bit, not like crazy, but I don't know, it worked for a little while, and I was like, you know, maybe I'll just kind of take this as a trademark for the rest of my career and just kind of see how I go with it. And started doing that, and I was like, I mean, I have one, I might as well do the blocker too. It's like, some people might understand the glove, but no one's going to understand the blocker, so why not be different? So I was like, I might as well just do blocker too, and it's kind of just gone from there.
Yeah.
Didn't Lundqvist used to do that too?
I'm not sure.
Pretty sure he
Probably.
used to throw gloves on.
I think he had one on his glove.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure about blocker, but
See, when I used to play baseball, I mean, the highest I went was high school ball, but you know, with the batting gloves, like a lot of people thought they were cool if they put them on underneath the glove. I can't do that. Like,
Yeah.
just to kind of like go with what you're going with, putting it underneath, like the gloves inside the gloves.
Yeah.
I couldn't even do that with just my catching glove in baseball.
Yeah.
That drove me up the wall. So I don't know how you. Do you not feel like there's like maybe a little delay in your reaction with it, or it might be like there's too much padding there? Like,
well, I think there's some benefits to it too. Like, you know, if you're in a cold rink, like having an extra set of
like
gloves
Lawson.
Yeah, exactly. And then like the ones I have, they have like grippy on the inside, so it's like, you know, if my glove gets super sweaty and wet inside, it has that extra grip, so I don't, you know, slide out or anything
Fair
like
enough.
that. So
I pretend to play the drums sometimes, and I have to play without shoes on because I feel like there's a delay with the pedal between my shoe and my foot. You don't feel like there's a delay at all in closing the glove?
Nope.
No, it works
not at all.
perfectly for you.
Yep.
I mean, hey, if it's working, I mean, and it worked pretty good on Sunday. We'll keep it going, I guess, eh? So, in the room itself, though, I know it's not, you know, the championship or anything, but how good did that feel winning that game on Sunday for you guys?
That was a big one. Like, I think if you went into that weekend knowing we were only going to win one, it would have been that one. Just, you know, it sets up your week so much better when you end on a win. And obviously 7 in a row's a pretty long streak, and it sucked. It sucked for a while. But no, it's good to get back on the horse, and KL on Friday should be good.
I think what also kind of was neat about it was that you guys were 3 and 2.5 days, whereas the Sioux was only playing their second. So it was like, if anyone would have legs, you would think it was them. But after they got that first goal, you guys just suffocated them.
Yep.
And that was great. What's going through your mind, after that first one goes in? I know you said you can't really analyze it and all that stuff and really think about it, but is there a feeling like, oh no, here we go kind of thing when you let in that first one, like within the first 2 minutes? Just the way that everything had been going, where everything felt like it was snowballing at that point.
I think like that in my mind, I can't. What it went through mine is like I got to be selfish with it. Is like, I just with the situation that happened, I dropped down, made the first save, and then unlucky rebound right to the front. There's just a guy there. It's like it's not like. Of course, my rebound could have been better, but at the same time, that's just one of those goals where it's like it's just weird. It's just a weird one. It's not. It's on me and on the defense, on their whole team. It's everybody. But it's like, since it's a weird one, I can be confident. Like, why? It's an awkward one. It's out of my control now. Why would I care about it? So I just forget about it. Be confident and just keep having the mindset that I can stop every puck.
Fair enough, and I mean it worked out for the rest of the game. You were perfect. So I mean. Not that I want to inflate your ego too much while you're in here. No, I wanted to ask Jackson, do you have any, we talked about goalies being weird and all the stuff that they do. Do you have any weird superstitions, weird game day rituals that you go through?
I have way too many.
Yeah?
Way
Can you give us like one? One that you think is the least weird so we don't look down on you.
The least weird?
So, just so we were like, yeah, he's still cool, I guess.
I'll give you a weird one. The water thing where I just drench my entire body on the ice is bad.
Like during warm-up?
Yeah, it's terrible. But
especially in there because it's so cold.
I can't stop. Like, I've been doing it for so long now. It's
so what do you do? Do you take the top off the bottle?
No, just spray it. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, I've seen it, but I feel like I haven't seen it at the same time. Yeah. So,
it's bad.
What started that?
I don't know.
You're like, man, I really stink. I need a shower right here on the ice or something.
I don't know. I probably saw someone do it in the NHL or something when I was like 12 and thought it was cool. Yeah. And it just stuck.
I think it helps too, to be honest.
It does wake you up a bit.
Cold water on your face.
Yeah.
I do it too, so.
Spray it down the back a little bit.
I think it's
nice. At the Sportsplex in the middle of January, that's got to wake you up.
That's cool.
Do you do that in practice too, at like 7:30 in the morning when you guys go? Or
sometimes if you need a wake-up call, it's not the worst thing.
No.
Yeah.
All right, Austin, take us through maybe some of the rituals you have. Other than, I mean, you were talking about listening to the speech and all that stuff. Yep. But what's some of the things that you, like your superstitions that go through your mind on the game day?
I try my best not to be superstitious, but it kind of, we show up. You guys do that. Superstitious when it comes to things that will ruin my game. Otherwise, like, I feel like if you are superstitious, then if something goes wrong, it's like, is the game supposed to go wrong then too? It's like, so I try not to be superstitious because of that whole mindset. But I'll say I have a routine. Yeah. I wouldn't say I have a superstitious routine. Okay. But me and Jackson like to show up early. So we show up early, kind of, roll out my feet, roll out my legs, kind of do some band work, should go up for a meeting, and then after that, do my visual thing with my headphones and that. And then, what else? Usually go outside, do a little jog, run, warm-up thing. Then I throw the ball, and then that's basically it, to be honest. Kind of just mentally focus in from there. There's nothing like super crazy, other than warm-up's the exact same every time, basically. So, yeah.
Is there like the left side of my equipment has to go on first, or nothing like that?
None of those superstitions.
But for you there is? Yeah.
Right skate.
Right skate first?
Right skate, right shin pad.
Yeah. In that order, or shin pad first?
I go skates first.
Really?
I go skates, shin pads, pants.
What about socks? Like, how do you get the socks on once the skates are on?
Socks first, then skates, then shin pads.
That's
pants.
So backwards.
It is, but if you get dressed, if you tie your skates without putting your pants on, it's the best thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's awesome.
And there's like no mobility once you're in those things.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I got that. So just so that way, like I get it. Like I like to think I'm not superstitious, but when it comes to sports, I'm 150% superstitious. Like when I played baseball, I couldn't go out on the field without like dumping my glove in the infield dirt and moving it around a few times. Or a couple of years ago, when the battalion were playing Barrie in the second round, I noticed that every game I wore my watch to, the battalion were winning, and every game I didn't, they would lose. So and it was weird because I would forget it because I don't wear a watch every day. So like, and it was working that way. So like, when the day of Game 7 came around, you better believe I was wearing my watch that day. So, it's just little things like that. But I mean, like, I'm not playing, so I don't have like a superstition when it comes to like that stuff. So it's just funny how the brain works. That you like, it happens once, and you had a good game, and you're like, oh, that's obviously the answer.
Yep.
Oh, I scored this one. Can't do anything different now.
So when you score that goal about a month ago there from the blue line, was it all the same superstitions, or did you change something up that day? Because that was a nice shot from the point.
I put the bubble on that day.
Yeah.
So that was something new.
Yeah.
And haven't switched, so probably won't now.
No, that's fair. Yeah. 'Cause that was a nice shot. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it's nice.
I'm not saying that like as I couldn't believe it.
Good that it went in finally.
Yeah. Is there like does that ride on you a little bit when you're on a goal? Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
And I mean, my job isn't to score 20 goals a year, but obviously I want more than 2 this year. That's for sure.
I wanted to ask, just kind of it happened. It was his first. You're not on the. You didn't play Sunday. I can't remember. Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to double check because I was like, I'm pretty sure you didn't. And it's all jumbled together when you do that quick weekend like that. But it was obviously his first of the season, and he didn't really believe it. But the other guys on the ice were celebrating. But what was it like to watch like Decal finally get his first?
I was going nuts in the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, we only got one left. Reed just needs to score.
Yeah.
And then if Reed scores,
Everyone's going to the farm.
is going. Might go on the ice as a team if he puts one in.
Did he get a point recently?
I don't think so.
Perfect.
I think
I'm still tied with him.
Yeah, 2 assists.
Yeah.
Look at you go. Are you gonna go for a goalie goal? Do you think at any point? Are you allowed to? Like, would Pete let you do it?
If the opportunity shows, but at the same time, I don't want to risk it because I feel like it's so embarrassing if you mess up and get scored on. It's like,
that's fair.
I don't even want to risk the embarrassment, but if it's open, then maybe I will. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want when they score and they're going by the bench, do you feel a little bit left out sitting down in your net sometimes?
No, oftentimes I try not to react at all to it, like to us scoring. Yeah. Just like it's not like I'm not I'm super happy we scored, but at the same time it's like I don't want to get too high or too low. It's like
stay even keel.
Yeah, it's same with the the mindset thing. It's an external distraction. So my job's to focus on what I'm doing. What am I caring about? If you guys are fighting or whatever it is, it's like that's out of my control. I can't do anything about it. So I try. Like if the guys come, I'll give them fist bumps and whatever. Yeah. But otherwise, I just kind of just go left, right, and back to my net.
Another weird goalie thing that I've noticed too is like when you guys like during the TV timeout or whatever, especially in the second period when you go past the opposing goalie, you guys like to fist bump each other all the time. Like, do you know the guys, or are you just kind of like, we're both goalies?
I like only know probably one goalie in this league, but otherwise it's just I think just goalie respect, being nice.
Fair enough.
Yeah, most of them are nice guys, so they're. A lot of the times they're looking at me smiling or whatever, and they're already putting their hand out. So it's like,
fair enough.
Yeah. So
should just blow by them.
Well, depending on the team, I would be okay with that.
They're dumb. Maybe in playoffs, I'll blow by.
Yeah. The other question I have, I got this off the best NHL team in the world, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the other day. They posted I'm sorry. They posted a really good interview with Joseph Woll and Stolars, where they asked, one of the questions was, does it ever get in your head when you're being pulled for the extra attacker, like don't fall when you're skating back to the bench kind of thing?
I think it goes through your head, but at the same time, like I'm not bothered by it.
Yeah.
Like there's sometimes I'll go full out, and other times I'll be like watching my step at the same time, but it doesn't really bother me too hard.
Would you like to see this guy bail if he's being pulled for the extra tag or something?
Him and Coxie they're both good skaters, so I don't have to worry about that too much.
There's actually one time I got pulled this season, and Pete decided to put me back in while the game was going.
Really?
Yeah, I changed for you.
Yeah, he changed. I've never gone back in while the game's going. Like, it changed on the fly. But that was one where I was like, okay, I can't fall. Yeah. It's like, I got to be careful.
Did you hop the bench?
No, they opened the door. They opened the door, and I got my run and start.
I was gonna say that'd be
I
funny.
was just on the ice. I came back to the bench, and Austin changed for me.
Yeah,
So
Pete's like, he's like, Austin, you're going, and I'm like sitting there, just thinking about the game, and he's like, Austin, you're going. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, you're going. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Was it in blind?
It was in blind, yeah. We were down, I think, at the time, so that's why he pulled me. So
Yeah,
but there's a power
that's
play.
wild. I don't think I've ever.
Yeah,
Because that happened with the battalion, a little while ago. They were on the power play and down a goal, so they went 6-on-4, and they pulled McIver. So after the game, when I was talking to Ryan, like just him and I, like the head coach, I was like, I don't mean this with disrespect, because they kept him out and then they ended up getting scored on. But I was like, can you actually change?
yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I guess you can. I don't know. So thank you.
Yeah.
You answered that question.
The first time I've ever seen that. So.
Yeah.
I've never done that before.
Yeah.
So I feel like I asked you this question before, Jacko, but I don't recall. What's your favorite NHL team?
I'm an Oilers fan.
Yeah?
From Calgary.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I remember that now.
Yeah.
So how did it feel watching McDavid dominate the Four Nations?
Well, it's normal. It's just,
Casual.
he's God, and everyone else around him can do whatever they want because he's the best in the world.
Yeah? I don't know. That was a nice feed from Marner.
Hey, good that he's on the winning team for once.
Oh, my God. What about you, Austin? Who's your favorite NHL team?
Canucks.
Yeah?
I'm from BC, so.
Yeah, you gotta be.
Yeah.
You guys are going through a tough stretch.
Yeah, we are. Yeah,
Were you Team JT or Team Elias? Or do you not really pay attention enough to the day-to-day to be like,
I don't know. I could care less. I'm more about the goalies.
So it was like Demko and Lankinen, like the best goalies in the league for you? Demko's always hurt, though.
Maybe not the best, but Demko's good. I think if Vancouver gets him back like consistently, they'll be better.
Yeah.
I think he's a huge part of their team. So
Yeah.
Come on, dude. Stu.
You're gonna stick with Stuart Skinner?
No.
he's not.
He's not. He's not it.
No.
No, we need to go get Gibson.
Well, he's looks like he's available. Anaheim just made a deal for a goalie, so
Oh really?
yeah, they got Billy Husso from Detroit.
Oh, actually, yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, so I mean,
I
what will you do if you get Gibson?
Well,
Jump up and down?
get my finger measured for the rings this summer.
Yeah,
We didn't get it done last year. We're gonna get it done this year.
yeah. So is it what's tougher? You guys as the Voodoos coming up short, or the Oilers coming up short in Game 7?
Super fair question to you.
The dues for sure.
Yeah.
That sucked.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Game 7.
I watched Game 7 from here.
That sucked.
Chris invited me over, so I came and watched it. Like to come back and force Game 7 after being so down. Like
I was on the most all-time high of my entire life.
yeah,
I thought it was over after Game 2.
yeah.
And then they just started coming back. I was like, this is amazing.
Did you watch the NHL face-off thing?
Yeah.
With McDavid?
Yeah.
Was that tough?
No, I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked that he was giving it to guys in between. Was it in between periods or after Game 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was after a loss, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, it was after
in Florida.
Yeah, going down 0-2 in Florida.
Yeah.
So are you really despise the Kachucks, especially after
I
Four
hate
Nations?
them.
Yeah, they're terrible, especially Matthew.
I've been on that train for a while.
I do have Matthew in one of my fantasy leagues, so it sucks right now.
They're so good.
Yeah.
They're
the guys that you would love to have on the Oilers.
They're awesome. We could have had Matthew Tkachuk on the Oilers
Yeah.
too, but Jesse Puljujarvi, great pickup.
I remember when he fell.
And
Or-
I thought we were getting
because the Blue Jackets went with PLD, and everyone's like, I only remember that draft really well because of Matthews. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I'm also a Jackets guy because I got family in Columbus, so everyone's like, "Why are you a Jackets guy?" But when PLD went, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, Puljujarvi to Edmonton," when he was like, everyone thought he would go 2.
Well,
him or Laine were going to go 2.
Yeah, well, in that World Juniors that year, him and Laine were just unstoppable. So, yeah, but didn't work out.
Yeah. No, you got your guy the year before, though. And then the year before that, you got Draisaitl.
Exactly.
Worked out.
Hey, we've had a good run in the draft, that's for sure.
After a really bad run. I mean,
got
Yakupov.
Taylor Hall.
Yeah, Taylor Hall. And then you traded him as
Nuge.
soon as he became good.
Nuge is great. Yeah, great trade there, Peter Chiarelli.
I was going to say, are you big Taylor Hall trade for Adam Larson?
I was like the biggest Taylor Hall fan growing up, too. It sucked.
What about Jordan Eberle when he left? Did that suck?
That that was probably even worse.
Really?
Ebbs and Halsey were.
Yeah, those were the guys.
Those were the guys. We sucked every year, but at least we had Ebbs and Halsey.
Well, you know what is? I guess you would have been pretty young when the Canucks made the finals back in 2011.
Yeah.
So
my dad went to, like, when they played at home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad was there.
Game 7.
Yeah.
Was he a partaker of the riots, or did he get out
He
just
left 5 minutes before. He was watching outside too. He wasn't,
really?
He wasn't in. He was watching.
Oh, he got over there at a good time.
Yeah, like 5 minutes before everything started going crazy.
Yeah, left at a good time.
Yep.
That was a sick team though. Like Vancouver had a great team that year.
They're so good.
Yeah,
They could have been back there even the next year. The year before they were good too.
Yeah, there's like a 3-4 year run for the Canucks where they just couldn't get past the Blackhawks.
They won the President's Trophy like 2 out of those 3 years, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so.
Just couldn't get past the Blackhawks. I mean, that's okay. At least you guys made it out of the first round. It really sucks. Anyways, guys, that's enough of this. I'll let you go. So thanks so much, Jackson, for coming on a second time. And
thank you for having us.
Yeah, no problem. And during this little bit of ridicule in Austin, it's been great having you on.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, that's Jackson Smith and Austin Seibel here on the Frontline podcast.
The Frontline, hosted by Courtney Kenny, the official podcast of the Austin Voodoos.